Hi everyone. It's been years since I first read Call Me By Your Name by Andre Asman, and I didn't read it. I heard an audiobook here on YouTube, and I figured since I'm dreading homework, I should give it a try and try not to fail on the copyright. Even though I don't have the voice of Army Hammer, I want to give it a try. So, for audio, alma de mi vida. And for parts, part 1. If not later, when? Later, the word, the voice, the attitude. I'd never heard anyone use later to say goodbye before. It sounded harsh, curt, and dismissive, spoken with a veiled indifference of people who may not care or see or hear from you again. It is the first thing I remember about him, and I can hear still today. Later. I shut my eyes, say the word. I am back in Italy so many years ago, walking down the three-line driveway, watching him step out of the cab, billowy blue shirt, wide open collar, sunglasses, straw hat, skin everywhere. Suddenly, he's shaking my hand, handing me his backpack, removing his suitcase from the trunk of the cab, asking if my father is home. I might have started right there and then. The shirt, the roll-up sleeves, the rounded balls of his heels, slipping in and out of his frayed spadrilles, eager to test the hot gravel path that led out to our house, every stride already asking me which way to the beach. The summer's house-goose, another bore. Then, almost without thinking, and with his back already turned to the car, waves back of his free hand and utters a careless "later" to another passenger in the car who has probably split the fare from the station. No name added, no just smooth out of the ruffle-lip talking, nothing. His one word send-off, brisk, bold, and blunted. Take your pick, he couldn't be bothered which. You watch, I thought. This is how he'll say goodbye to us when the time comes, with a gruff splash. Later. Meanwhile, we'd have to put up with him for 6 long weeks. I was thoroughly intimidated. The unapproachable sort I could grow to like him though, from the rounded chin to the rounded heel. Then, within days, I will learn to hate him. This, the very person whose photo on the application from months earlier had left out of promises of instant affinities. Taking a summer guest was my parents' way of helping young academics revise a manuscript before publication. For 6 weeks each summer, I'll have to vacate my bedroom and move one room down the corridor into a much smaller room that had once belonged to my grandfather. During the winter, when we were wainscoting, it became a part tool shed, storage room, and attic, where rumor had it my grandfather, my namesake, still ground his teeth in his eternal sleep. Summer residents didn't have to pay anything, were given the full run of the house, and could basically do anything they pleased provided they spent an hour or so a day helping my father with his correspondence and assorted paperwork. They became a part of the family, and after about 15 years of doing this, we had gotten used to a shower of postcards and gift packages not only around Christmas time, but all year long from people who were not only totally devoted to our family and would go to their way, and when they were in Europe to top a beat. for a day or two with their family and take a nostalgic tour in the old days. At meals, there were frequently 2 or 3 other guests, sometimes neighbors or relatives, sometimes colleagues, lawyers, doctors, the rich and the famous who dropped by to see my father in on the way to their own summer houses. Sometimes we've opened our dining room to the occasional tourist couple who heard of the old villa and simply wanted to come by and take a pic, and were totally enchanted when asked to eat with us and tell us all about themselves, while Mafalda, informed at the last minute, dished out her usual fare. My father, who was reserved and shy in private, loved nothing better than to have some precocious rising experience and kept conversation going in a few languages, while the hot summer sun, a few glasses of Rosatello, ushering the unavoidable afternoon torpor. We named the task dinner drudgery, and after a while, so did most of our 6 weeks guests. Maybe it started soon after his arrival during one of those grinding lunches when he sat next to me and it had finally dawned on me that despite a light tan acquired during his brief stay in Sicily early that summer, the color of the palms of his hands was the same as the pale, soft skin of his soles, of his throat, of the bottom of his forearms, which hadn't really been exposed to much sun, almost a light pink, as glistening and smooth as the underside of a lizard's belly, private, chaste, unfledged, like a blush on an athlete's face or an instance of down on a stormy night. He told me things about him I never knew to ask. In my half stir during those endless hours after lunch when everybody longed about invading suits inside and outside the house, bodies sprawled everywhere, killing time before someone finally suggested we head down to the docks for a swim. Relatives, cousins, neighbors, friends, colleagues, or just about anyone who cared to knock at our gate and ask if they could use our tennis court. Everyone was welcome to lounge and swim and eat, and if they stayed long enough, use the guest house. Or perhaps it started on the beach, or at the tennis court, or during our first walks together, on his very first day when I was asked how to show him the house and its surrounding area. One thing leading to the other, managed to take him past the very old forged iron metal gate as far back as the endless empty lot in the hinterland toward the abandoned train tracks that used to connect B to N. "Is there an abandoned station house somewhere?" he asked, looking through the trees under the scalding sun, probably trying to ask the right question of the owner's son. No, there was never a station house. The train simply stopped when you asked. He was curious about the train. The rails seemed so narrow. It was a 2-wagon train bearing the loyal insignia, I explained. Gypsies lived in it now. They have been living there ever since my mother used to summer here as a girl. The gypsies had hauled the 2 derailed cars farther inland. Did he want to see them? Later, maybe. Polite indifference, as if he stopped my misplaced zeal to play up to him and was summarily pushing me away. But it stung me. Instead, he said he wanted to open an account in one of the banks in B, then pay a visit to the Italian translator whom his Italian publisher had engaged for his book. I decided to take him there by bike.